Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith, and today I am very excited to be digging right back into gameplay with Marvel D.A.G.G.E.R from Fantasy Flight Games. If you haven't checked out my showcase to this point, including the unboxing video, the setup video, as well as part number 1, you'll want to check all those out to understand what we have going on the table right now. The link to the entire showcase in the top right hand corner. At this point, we're diving back into a brand new round in the hero phase. Black Panther at the end of part number 1 went down, and we don't want that to happen again. But to start things off, the Hulk has the first player token. Now, just before I go ahead with the Hulk's turn, at the start of the hero phase, in the round after a hero was defeated, that hero is going to come back into one of the bases. I get to choose which base it is. It's worth mentioning, if this hero comes back into a base and is defeated a second time, well, then we have only until the end of the next hero phase to be able to get to the final showdown. And if we can't make that trigger, we are going to lose the game. So we are pushing ourselves in the wrong direction right now. But for now, let's get Black Panther into one of the bases we have available. I'm going to be a bit brazen and throw Black Panther right back into Wakanda because the T-Rex is right on the edge of defeat, so I'm not so concerned about it. I think I can take it out. Plus, the other enemy there, the Egyptian warrior, only needs 2 damage to be taken out in order to equal its power. So I think the Black Panther can handle both of those individuals, and it's a good time to get in there and clean that mess up. Now, an action that the Hulk can take, which is very cool, but doesn't seem to be able to work out in this situation based on the Nemesis mission. The Nemesis mission we're on states when a hero performs a fight action against an illusionary foe, that hero may move the Bifrost token to their space. So it has to be a fight action, and that's kind of what kinks my plan up. I was hoping to use a boosted token in the move aspect area of his sheet. That would allow me to move 2, and it also gives damage as he moves through those spaces, and that damage would kill off the illusionary foe. But the thing is, it's not classified as a fight action, and so because of it, we wouldn't get the benefit of getting that Bifrost token placed in our space. We're going to have to do things a little bit of a slower approach in order to meet the criteria of the mission card, but just know the Hulk has some cool abilities to be able to move in and out of areas and deal a single damage to those enemies as he moves through them, which is quite awesome. So for now, we'll go ahead with just a regular standard aspect token in the move slot to get him going. With the Hulk now in place, let's take an up close look at how the Black Panther's hero area in terms of what I have for options has changed. So here is a look at the hero on the opposite side of the equation with the shattered aspect side showing, and also we had this side showing originally. Once this side was defeated, we flip it over to the opposite side. You'll notice differences in terms of the aspect token slot here, the passive abilities. Things have changed going over to the opposite side, so we have to change up our strategy as well. What I'm thinking of doing this round is maybe resting first. The reason for this is I really want to try to charge up something that can help me out. Now, by resting, we already have an automatic success, and our attack has changed. You can see in terms of the attributes across the top, they have adjusted based on it being on the opposite side of the hero sheet. So we have 3 dice now going into this one, which could be really beneficial. Let's hope we get some good results here. We did, not too bad. We got 2 in total, 1 here and 1 off this. And that's going to be enough to charge up the strength of Wakanda, which I flipped over, which I'm prepping as I want to use it when we go up against the T-Rex to hopefully take it down. Maybe in the next turn, we'll do an empowered fight ability with the boost that will give us 2 progress tokens if we take the T-Rex down. Back over to the Hulk, let's move one more time. With the Hulk in position, we move back over the Black Panther, and we're going to make an attack. We know we're making an attack against the T-Rex. We're going to go ahead and put a boosted aspect token in the fight area here, so if we get this defeat, we get to place 2 progress tokens on any mission. That includes a Nemesis mission, which would be great. We're going to exhaust this to get an extra die on top of the 2 we have here, so that's a total of 3 dice. We're looking for at least 2 attack icons. This roll would be terrible if we get this. So we're looking for anything. Lightning bolts are okay, though, so hopefully we'll see something like that in there. We got ourselves, oh, we're good. We got 4. That is more than enough. The T-Rex has fallen. That worked out absolutely perfect. The T-Rex is going to go down. The damage tokens will be removed. There's already 8 there. The additional 4 minus 1 is 3 damage going on the T-Rex, which is more than enough to get it to its 9. So that T-Rex is down. Also, because we took it down with a boosted fight action, we get to place 2 progress tokens on any mission. I'll be placing it on the Nemesis mission. This is getting really tricky strategically because we do want to work towards progressing the Nemesis mission here, which I am doing. The thing I'm concerned about is, as much as I'd love to have Black Panther move up and maybe over to where the Hulk is, once the Bifrost token maybe gets to that location, I could get them both into Asgard to try to push, because Black Panther is much better at Defy than the Hulk is. The Hulk is also very, very hurt. So the thing I don't want is to have the Bifrost token show up in the Hulk space, giving a gateway for all these enemies to come flying over and really put a big time hurting on the Hulk. So it's a fun game of that, plus the fact we have enemies on the board, one of which is sitting on a city. So if I leave that space with Black Panther, that city's going to get overrun. There's a bunch of things going on here. It becomes very strategic quite quickly. This time around, the Hulk is going to rest. I'm going to go ahead and test my attack, which is not all that great, but I do have 1 success guaranteed. Let's see if I can get more. I got nothing, but that's 1 at least. I'm going to go ahead and just remove 1 damage. Now we have the Egyptian warrior still here in Wakanda. I do probably need to get rid of that thing. Every time I attack it, it's going to take away from my team up, which is unfortunate. It'll drop me down to 3. I'm really trying to build that up so I can actually make use of my really cool team up cards. I do have a Wakanda Forever one already flipped upwards, which can empower my heroes, which is great, but I'm waiting for a better moment to use that. I'd love to get the Hulk Smash one going, but I just can't seem to get up high enough. Also, there's an ongoing effect right now with the side mission stopping me from gaining any team up off anything that I've gained. So that's really another reason to get rid of this side quest. So again, lots of intertwining things to think about here, but I do know I want to get rid of this enemy off Wakanda. So I've gone ahead and used a standard aspect token in the fight area here for 2 attack. I don't have anything else I can add into this, so we're just rolling and hoping we get what we need. We need 2 damage. I don't know if this is going to pan out for me, but here's hoping. We got it. We got the lightning bolt and the 1 damage. That is enough. And actually, a correction. I was talking about the wrong enemy. That enemy I just took out was actually one of the soldiers. It does not actually impact my team up track, so that's going to go back up to 4. So that's a positive. The Hulk is going to attack with the final action it has. It's a boosted fight aspect token. So that means each attack result will also be a success on top of any attack icons and any wilds, of course. I have 3 dice going into this equation, and hopefully this will pull off a kill. Now we only need 1. We need to meet 1 success to pull us off. And actually, he already has 1 success automatically. So we've basically already done this without any issue whatsoever. The Hulk crushes that opponent. The Nemesis mission mentions that after making a fight action against an illusionary foe, regardless of whether you defeat it or not, just making the fight action against it, you may move the Bifrost token to your space. I'm definitely going to do it, as I want that bridge to Asgard. And for my final aspect token, which is a standard one on Black Panther, just moving 1 as I want to make my way towards that Bifrost token. I'd like to get both of my heroes through that bridge to Asgard to help to use the Defy ability, which the Black Panther is really good at, in order to try and push this Nemesis mission to a success. Heading into the Nemesis phase, we know we're going to take the 3 threat, which is on Loki, as a starting point. 1 for each non-Nemesis enemy in play. We currently have 2 down here, but we dealt with a whole bunch on the game board, which was great. So that's a total of 5. We don't have any overrun bases, and we don't have any threat on any hero or side missions currently. As you can see, we're right on the cusp of the threat threshold at 14. We are currently at 12. We really need to make sure we can complete the Nemesis mission in this upcoming hero phase. The card states, go it alone. It is not advised to proceed without backup. Repeat, do not proceed without backup. Consequences could be dire. 1 hero may ready their team up ability without spending team up. If they do, place this card next to their hero sheet. That hero is defeated at the end of the next hero phase. Then discard this card. Do not advance threat for this defeat. Now, this could be a really good ability to make use of, especially if you're in crunch time. I don't think it'll be all that useful in my situation right now. Now we go to the next icon here. I'm going to skip past that and not do it. This one is an ongoing effect trigger. We don't currently have any in play across the mission, so nothing to worry about there. We're heading down to the next icon, which is the Trickster God. It says each hero loses empowered, and then each hero that cannot suffers 1 damage instead. Unfortunately, both of my heroes don't have empowered tokens on them, so they're both taking a damage. The Hulk now has 7 damage out of 9 health. Black Panther has 1 damage out of 6 health. The first individual to activate is going to be the Egyptian warrior down here. It cannot attack any hero in its space. It also can't take over this because Asgard is not a base. So it's going to move towards the nearest base in its region. It's currently not even in a region, so it'll just move towards a base closest in the nearest region. So in other words, it's going to take the bridge heading back to the world map. Next one up is the illusionary foe. Again, cannot attack a hero in a space, can't take over the base because this isn't one, and it's going to move at this point back to the world map across the bridge using the Bifrost token. Also on the illusionary foe card, everything states after the illusionary foes activate, then if people take damage, certain things happen. None of that's going to apply here, so we don't have to deal with any of that, but this thing is moving. Finally, the Nemesis is going to activate. It's in Asgard, so again, can't attack a hero currently, can't take over a base because it isn't one. It's heading back over to where the Hulk is as well, using the Bifrost token. So that area of the map just got really busy, but now we have that Bifrost token in place, which can get us to Asgard, where we can actually start trying to defy this mission and get past it. I might have to use some variation of the two heroes to figure out who's going to stick back and do some attacking, maybe both of them, and who's going to jump to Asgard in order to progress the mission. This is where strategy is going to be very interesting. The last thing to do is to spawn, and that's going to be a level 1 enemy in Space 2. Aspect tokens have all been reset, and I'm taking the first player marker, moving it from the Hulk to the Black Panther. Starting things off with Black Panther, I'm going to go ahead and use a boosted aspect token on the move in order to get 2 movement. We're going to get ourselves into the space with the Bifrost token, and then we're going to head to Asgard. Now I'm going to move over to the Hulk, who's got a whole bunch of enemies to deal with. I'm going to have the Hulk use his boosted aspect token, which is going to be on move. This is going to be great. It allows me to increase the action's move value by 1, deal a damage to each enemy in each space you move into or out of. So at this point, we're going to have the Hulk move out of this space into the Middle East and then head right back into the exact same space, doing 2 damage to everybody in here. And just like that, the Hulk has taken out all the minions that were inside of South Asia, also doing 2 damage to the Nemesis. That was a pretty good move for Hulk. We now head over to the Black Panther, who is in Asgard. We're going to go ahead and defy the mission. The main Nemesis mission is located here, so we'll be going ahead with a standard aspect token in order to do this, and this is going to allow us to use our Defiance value of 2, rolling 2 dice, and hoping we can get as many of the Defiance icons that are shown here, or potentially the wilds as well. Let's see how we do. We got ourselves, oh, lucky us, we got 1. We missed out on the second one though. Now on top of the 1 that I rolled, I also get 1 success added to each of my defy actions. So we actually got 2, which makes the 2 we have here end up being 4 total. We're getting our way up there. We need to get to 6. Now, just before we go ahead with Hulk's next action, I want to talk about a passive ability that I missed out on, and I want to take it retroactively right now as there's no gameplay impact, but just in the last turn when I did some movement there and was able to destroy 2 of the minions on the board, one of them was a rank 1 enemy, and when I take out a rank 1 enemy, I can take that much progress, equaling the rank, so 1, and place it on any hero mission or side mission, and I definitely have a side mission I'm working towards. So then I'll swap out the 2 we have here for 3 total. We still need 6 on this side mission. For the Hulk's turn, it's pretty obvious what I plan on doing since we already have 2 damage on the Nemesis. We might as well try and get up to 5 and stun this individual. So using a standard aspect token for a fight, allowing me to roll 3 dice, which is what I get for my attack. I have 1 automatic success going in. Let's see if we can add to that pool. We got ourselves another 1 and 2 more right here. So that would put a total of 6 damage on the Nemesis, but its health totals 5, so I stopped right there. We do get to place a stun as that equals the health amount for Loki, so Loki isn't going to be activating. And finally, I've chosen to move Loki 1 space even further away from the bases that he could potentially overrun. Black Panther is back at it again. We're going to go ahead with a standard action to defy. So we get to roll 2 dice. We already have an automatic success going in. Let's see if we can get more. We want to see this icon here. Here we go. We got, oh, that is an awesome roll. That means a total of 3. My plan worked out perfectly. We were able to get enough progress on this mission so that when we get around to the Nemesis phase, we're going to ensure that we complete this mission successfully and then get to move into the next Nemesis mission. Now, this probably comes as no surprise, but the Hulk is hurting pretty bad, so we're going to go ahead and do a rest action with him. Standard action, though, so he gets 1 success. He's rolling for attack, which is only a single die. Let's see if he can happen to get this symbol he needs. And he does, so he ends up getting 2, which I'm going to use in order to get rid of 2 of his damage. Now at this point, there is a side mission still in play, which I could try to go after, but the problem is I don't have the ability to do any more defy actions, as I spend all of them trying to complete the Nemesis mission with Black Panther, so it's kind of nice sometimes to be able to just focus on resting, and that's something you don't always get to do, so I'm going to do that with the final one that I have here. We're going to test TAC. TAC is really high for the Black Panther, so I'm not really concerned about this. We have 1 success going in. Let's see how many more we can get. We ended up with absolutely nothing, but an absolutely amazing attack roll, if that's what it was for. So we only get 1. So out of that, I'm going to go ahead and just remove the damage I have. And to end off the hero phase, the Hulk is going to rest with his last action. He's going to be rolling a single tack die. He's already got 1 in the bank already. That's just 1 after that roll. We're going to take away a damage. Time to advance the threat. We currently have 3 for Loki, 1 for this Egyptian warrior over here, and that's it. So it's going to be a total of 4 threat. That's going to do it for the threat. At this point, we now check the Nemesis mission, and the first thing we check is progress. As we take a look at the Nemesis mission, we'll see it says 3 and it's times 2, which is the number of heroes, which is 6. We definitely got that. So we succeeded the mission. The mission is going to go into the Nemesis mission slot at the top of the game board. Now, when you flip over that first Nemesis mission in order to slot it at the top of the game board, you'll notice there's one part of it which is checked, which means you're successful. The opposite side, you've failed. Something bad happens. Now, these are tied to the final showdown and will have an impact on the final showdown. So in this case, it says to place 1 suppression token on the Nemesis sheet. As you can see at the top of the game board, you have those 3 Nemesis mission slots. So we have the one we succeeded at in the very first slot. It also told me to put a suppression token on the Nemesis sheet, which I'm doing right now. We'll talk about that later on towards the final showdown. Also worth mentioning, there's an icon way up there where it mentions Nemesis mission, where I slotted in the card. There's an icon with an exclamation mark. It's showing right here. This tells us we need to pull a side mission. This side mission is different than anything we've seen so far. We got Yon-Rogg. It says after Yon-Rogg damages a hero, that hero loses empowered. It tells us exactly where this individual is going to show up at Space 2, which is Central America. So yes, indeed, the side missions can throw additional enemies into the world you'll have to deal with. Here's an up-close look at the next Nemesis mission we have to deal with. It says, defy this mission in Loki's space. Place 1 progress on this mission for each success, and we're going to need 6 progress in order to make this happen. The final thing to do around the Nemesis mission is to reset your threat. Do not forget to do this. Our threat goes back down to 0. The threshold will remain at 14 due to the new mission stating the exact same threat value threshold as the first mission. We're all squared away. It's now time to pull an event card. Now, just before we dive into the event card, I want to talk about the suppression token that I placed on Loki. As of right now, it doesn't have any significance beyond being on the Nemesis sheet, but when we flip Loki's sheet over in the final showdown, if we make it to that point, then those suppression tokens will be triggered and we'll likely get benefits for those suppression tokens to aid us in that final showdown. So again, succeeding at Nemesis missions helps you in the final showdown. Failing the Nemesis missions makes that final showdown even tougher. The new event card says, now you see me. You cannot trust even your own eyes when it comes to Loki's manipulation. Stay vigilant. It says each hero may exhaust 1 of their ready support cards to become empowered. Loki trades spaces with an illusionary foe that is in a space that contains a hero if able. The hero I'm going to choose to take advantage of that ability off the event card is going to be Black Panther. We're going to exhaust Panther Habit, which if I get damaged, then I can become empowered. But by flipping this over and exhausting it right now, I can become empowered right now. So that resolves the very first paragraph in terms of what we're doing there. But Loki will also not be trading spaces with anybody because there's no illusionary foes out on the game board at the moment. So that's a good thing. Next thing is going to be one of the icons resolving. Taking a look at Loki's sheet here, which is a little bit off screen, it says the hero nearest to Loki and the hero furthest from Loki each spawn an illusionary foe in their space. So Loki again is playing games with both of us. We're going to have 1 spawn in Asgard and 1 spawn in South Asia. Something else that I removed off the game board was the mission token in Asgard for the previous Nemesis mission. We no longer need it here, so I placed it back up top because now we're targeting the space where Loki is. And we always know where Loki is based on the standee. Next up, we're triggering some more effects for Loki. So we have this one here and this one here happening twice. It says Trickster God. Each hero loses empowered. Each hero that cannot suffers 1 damage instead. So just like that, Black Panther was able to avoid 1 damage, but is going to be taking another point of damage, and poor Hulk is taking 2 here, which is not good because I think that really rolls back what I had done earlier with him in terms of taking damage off me. Now has 6 damage again. Black Panther's back to 1 damage again, and we're going to activate enemies. The Egyptian warrior is going to go first and has nobody to attack in its space, no base to overrun this space, so it's going to move towards the nearest city in its region. So it is making its way up to New York. Next up are the illusionary foes, which happen to be in the same space as the heroes, so each of my heroes taking a hit. Black Panther taking one thanks to the power 1 on it, and then one over here for the Hulk, which is going to bring him up to 7. The card for these illusionary foes states after all of them have activated, if exactly one hero was damaged by their attacks, the hero trades spaces with Loki. If exactly 2 heroes were damaged, those heroes trade spaces. So as 2 heroes were damaged by illusionary foes, they're going to swap places. That'll do it for the illusionary foes. Now we move to the elites. We have an elite for the first time in play. That's the one that came off of the side mission. And similar to the Egyptian warrior, it's going to move to the nearest base in its region. And last but not least is Loki to activate, but we have a stun token on Loki thanks to getting the damage necessary to stun. So nothing happening there in terms of an activation. Loki stays put and does nothing. The aspect tokens for both heroes have been reset, and the first player marker has moved over to the Hulk, who is definitely hurting at this point in time. Starting things off with the Hulk, this works out really nicely. I'm going to use his boosted move action, which, as we know from the last round, he's able to give damage to a space he moves out of and also into. So as he moves 2 spaces, it's going to take him from Asgard across the bridge over to the Bifrost token, and he's going to continue to move. He's going to kill off both of the illusionary foes as he goes through them. And the Hulk has an awesome ability to get progress tokens from rank 1, 2, or 3 enemies when he takes them out, but these ones are none of those ranks. They are nemesis specific enemies, so they don't provide any additional progress tokens for missions. But what is really nice is that when he did his move from Asgard over to South Asia and then went to Central Russia, where the nemesis is, he was able to not only knock out both of the illusionary foes, but also put a damage on Loki. So 3 damage with that 1 boosted token. Black Panther's up next, and using a standard aspect token to move into the same space with Loki. Now as we move back to the Hulk, we know the Hulk is the best at attacking, which is what we want to do and try to get up to 5 damage in order to stun Loki. And while the Black Panther's also there trying to defy the main nemesis mission in order for us to get as much progress on this thing as possible. If we get really lucky, maybe we could potentially get all 6, but 6 is quite a bit off the hop, but we got to at least stun Loki while we're in there. So I've gone ahead and spent the aspect token for fighting. We get an automatic success here. We're rolling 3 dice to see how much damage we can possibly put on Loki with this Hulk attack. And that, my friends, is a perfect roll. The dice were certainly on the Hulk side that time. We already had 1 on Loki. We're putting an additional 5, 1 automatically from the roll, and then 4 that came from the actual icons, which is more than enough to stun Loki, which is great news. Looking at the Nemesis mission number 2, up here it says defy this mission in Loki's space. Place 1 progress on this mission for each success. So with Black Panther in that space being the best at using the defiance attribute, has 2. So we get 2 red dice. We already have an automatic success here. Now I haven't charged up either of my support cards going on here. So that's something. The other thing I haven't really done yet is to work on the hero card for the Hulk and get that into the fray. I'd have to do a dagger action for that. We'll talk about that more later on if I can actually push that through. For now, I'm really trying to get through this second one quickly before maybe the board gets more busy. I have an opportunity here to try to peck away at the progress here, so we might as well go nuts and see what we can get. There's nothing I can do. I'm really tempted actually to potentially empower. It might be something I should do. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm actually going to use my team up action here on the Black Panther. It says you may exhaust this card to empower each hero. So we're exhausting this and each hero gets one of these tokens. I could use this after making my roll to add a success. There's other things you can use this for, like bumping up the team up track, things of that nature. Although as of right now, based on this red warning here, we cannot advance the team up track in any way, shape, or form. So the other thing that you can do is really just keep this token here in case something comes off the event deck like we've seen before, where if you don't have an event, you don't have an empower token, you'll take a damage. So sometimes just being empowered can stop bad things from occurring on you. So having one of these on each character is probably not a bad thing, especially the Hulk, seeing as he's hurting so much for health. For now, being that we're going to go ahead and just make our very first defy here, and I'm going to be this is the thing. I could go ahead and spend the boosted one, and that would allow me to treat wild results as 3 successes instead of 1, which would be pretty incredible. So maybe we should do that. I don't think there's anything else I can really do here. I mean, the only thing I could do is I could change up the order of this. I could go ahead and do some rest first in order to recharge one of these cards, the support cards, that will allow me to give myself some additional dice potentially. This one says you can roll additional dice. So if I can get 2 back, maybe I do that first. Let's go ahead and do a rest first. And with tack being 3, pretty good chance I can actually get some back, seeing as I get a guaranteed success here. Let's go ahead and roll and see how much we can get. We have 1 already, and we're looking for... Oh, that's a really bad result, but at least we got 1, so we can put 1 progress at least on this card. Now, in the previous action, when the Hulk went ahead and stunned Loki, I did have the option to move Loki if I wish, but based on what I'm trying to accomplish from the Nemesis mission, it would make no sense to move Loki to another location, as Black Panther wouldn't have the fun of being able to try and defy. Now, I could still use the Hulk to try to help in getting progress here, even though he doesn't really have as much going for him in this regard, but he's here. The other option I could do is I could focus on healing him up. Now, he currently has... Yeah, it's very tough. It's very tough. I might have to do at least 1 rest with him just to feel comfortable, and then maybe I'll do a defy on the next action. So we'll go ahead and do that rest. We're going to have the regular roll of 1 die. We already have 1 success automatically. Let's see what we get here. We ended up getting nothing. So that's going to be just a single one off. So we'll take 1 damage away. That's going to be the end of the Hulk's turn. Now, going into this next action for Black Panther, the thing to think about is the fact that even though I tried to rest and hopefully tried to bring this back, because this is the one I wanted, the support card, I didn't get enough, which means that if I wanted to keep going after it, I have to rest again. Then I've only left myself with 1 token. I'm only doing 1 defy this round. That's not the best. I'd like to really push hard on the defy this turn because things are relatively clear right now. So we're going to go ahead and be a little crazy. We're going to go ahead and use the boosted aspect token here. This is going to treat wilds as 3 successes instead of 1. And we've got 2 dice going in, which is best we have. We have an automatic success, which is nice. So here's hoping for a wild, because that will really push us close. Very close indeed. So we want to see lightning bolts. Come on. Let's see a wild. And we didn't get anything. The dice betrayed us. We got 1 progress token, so we'll place that on. That's the automatic success from right here. That's going to do it for the Black Panther. At this point, it might be worthwhile to just start having my heroes all help with this defy action. So we're going to go ahead and have the Hulk do the same thing. He does not get an automatic one in this case. He's only rolling 1 die, so chances are pretty thin that he's going to be able to really help us out here. Let's go ahead and roll the die and see what he gets. He misses completely on that defy action, so nothing there. Back over to the Black Panther. Last token we have to spend. We're going to do a defy action. It's not going to be boosted this time, though, so we just have 2 going in. We have an automatic success, which is nice, so I'm really hoping I can get some good icons here. I don't want to see those attack icons anymore. Come on. Hey, we got a bolt at the worst possible time, but that's at least counts as 1 success this time, plus the 1 we have here. So we have a total of 3 progress on the Nemesis mission right now. So not bad. I was kind of hoping for better results than that, but at this point we move into the Nemesis phase. We're going to check for our threat. So as of right now, we have the Nemesis at 3. We have 2 other enemies on the board, so it's a total of 5. Nothing's overrun, and we have no other threat accumulated across any hero or side quests. It's going to be a bump up from 0 to 5. We check the Nemesis mission. We know that we have 3 progress, but it doesn't meet the 6 that we need. The threat track has also not reached the threshold at 14, so we have nothing to worry about in terms of pass or fail at this point in time. We're going to the event card. The card is called Homecoming. It says, Wakanda has graciously offered to grant us assistance at our time of need. It says up to 2 heroes may move directly to Wakanda. Each of those heroes may recover 2 or charge 3. Oh, very tempting indeed. Absolutely, 100%. I'm bringing both characters to Wakanda. This could be really beneficial for me. With the characters now there, I'm going to choose to have the Hulk recover 2. He definitely needs help on that front, so he's going from 6 to 4 damage. And the Black Panther instead is going to really focus on charging up cards. So we're going to be able to easily get the 1 we need here. We'll also charge this card up as well. It's a charge 3, but I don't have enough to use the rest. But that's a-okay because it brings back both of these support cards. And both of them will be handy based on the Nemesis mission I'm trying to accomplish. Now back on the event card, it says the very first icon is resolving all ongoing effects. We currently don't have any, so ignore that. Then the next icon is this one here. And honestly, anytime you're resolving something here, check out what Loki or whichever nemesis you're going up against is planning on doing, because that might change your decisions around what you do here. So looking at this one, it tells us Chaotic Wake. Loki moves 2 spaces toward the nearest hero, which ironically is going to land them right in Wakanda, and he's going to deal 2 damage to each hero in his space. Then if there are no heroes in his space, Loki overruns the nearest base. So he's not going to overrun the base, but he's going to hit both my heroes for 2. I prepared with the Hulk by recovering 2, but Black Panther's going to be a little bit hurt. Loki is really enjoying playing games with us, lands in Wakanda and hits both of our characters. Both heroes suffering damage, 2 on the Hulk to bring him to 6, 2 on the Black Panther, bringing the Black Panther to 4. Only 6 health on the Black Panther. Remember, if this thing gets hit one more time and goes down, well, we are forced into only having a single round worth of play to get to the final showdown, otherwise we lose. So this is very dangerous over here. We're gonna have to get some recovery going on there. That was a pretty nasty hit. Now, enemies are gonna activate based on the event card. We know this one right here can't do anything in terms of attacking or taking over bases, but it will head to New York. Exact same with the Elite here too. So they are on their way to New York with the intention to try and overrun it, which will likely happen unless we can get our way over there just in time. Meanwhile, Loki is going to activate right now, but won't because Loki is stunned, thankfully avoiding any pain on our part, so we can take away all the damage over here and the stun token, nothing else happening. The last thing on the event card tells us to spawn an illusionary foe in the second location on the game board, which is Central America. Aspect tokens have been reset. Also, the first player marker is back over to Black Panther. Well, if there was ever a time to try to progress the Nemesis mission, this is it. We're going to go ahead with a very strong defy action here for Black Panther to try and accomplish just that. Any wilds will be treated as 3 successes. We have 2 dice going in. I'm going to use this one to make it 3 just to really hammer this home so we can hopefully get this done in one action. Let's see how we do. We got ourselves, actually that works out perfectly. We have 2. 2 again, that is way more than enough to pull this off. So 4 Defiance right off the dice, plus the 1 that's free right from the Justice card. That's 5 up there on top of the 3 that's already there. So we have 8 progress up there, which is way more than enough to deal with the Nemesis mission, which is fantastic after just 1 action. Now, seeing as I'm in the same space as the Nemesis, it makes sense to attack the Nemesis with the Hulk again to try and stun it to ensure it doesn't do anything nasty for us. So we're going to have the Hulk go ahead and make an attack here. Now, the question is, do I want to boost this? Maybe, if I want to try and make this attack actually really, really useful, we'll just go ahead and make it kind of a big time attack. So we're going to go in with 3 dice. It says any tactic result is also considered a success. And of course, we had the automatic success in there as well. Let's go ahead and see what we do. We have 1 already, and we just added, just 1 to the phrase. So it's only 2 hits. So that wasn't the biggest attack ever, but the Black Panther's over here too and could potentially do a hit maybe before moving out. Although I do have to think about getting over to this side of the board. We got some enemies over here, and especially these guys that are going to try and overrun New York, which could potentially happen because this elite individual is actually quite strong, so that's part of the fun. I think I might leave the Hulk where he is to continue pounding away and hope that he can make enough. Well, I don't know. He can only do 1 more fight, a hit against this individual, unless he wants to try and use his rage to deal 2 damage to an enemy in his space, but then he has to suffer 3 damage, which is a bit much. So maybe I will actually do a fight action with the Black Panther to kind of help out. So we'll do 2 red dice going into this one. This one says after you suffer damage, you can exhaust this card to become empowered, so that doesn't help. I also want to keep these empowered tokens on my characters right now in case an event card comes out that's going to try to hurt us, and we can use it to kind of mitigate that. So I could use them, as I've mentioned before, as a success after rolling, but I'm going to hold on to them there for now, at least until a moment where I think it makes sense to burn them. That actually wasn't terrible. I mean, 1 hit, it's not a lot, but we'll take it. So we're back with the Hulk, and hopefully we can pull this off with another fight action here. Otherwise, we're going to have to use Black Panther to try to peck away, because that'll be the only individual that can do this. I don't want to put any more damage on the Hulk with the Rage for sure. So we're going to go ahead with 3 attack here. We've got an automatic success, which gives us the 4th one we need. So we really just need 1 off this die roll. Let's see how we do. We got ourselves more than enough. We're golden. Now, the key with this strategy is that even though it seems quite easy, you might sit there and go, well, you can just pretty much stun him every single time. It doesn't seem that difficult. Well, actually, it's really wasting a lot of actions. I mean, overall here, we've wasted 1 fight over here, 2 fight over here, so almost half the actions for my hero is just trying to keep him stunned before we run away. So, I mean, that's kind of the fun part of the whole situation, is trying to figure out when the right times to do those things are. In this case, with Black Panther being at 4 damage, and only having 6 health, we really need to rest at this point, knowing now that Loki is stunned. I placed a stun token over there on him as well. We're also, do I move him? Maybe I do. Maybe in this case we do, because we no longer have any use for him being in this space. So we're actually going to push him away from Wakanda. Let's move him to the Middle East, get him away from Wakanda so that he can't overrun it if we happen to leave. Black Panther is going to go ahead right now, I think, and I'm going to probably just rest because I really don't want to have Black Panther go down at this point. So we're rolling 3 dice. We have 1. Let's see here. We already have 1 automatic success. Let's see how many more we can get off this. Come on, TAC. We want to see lots of icons for you. We got just 1, but that's okay. That's us 2. So we can take 2 damage off of Black Panther, making me feel a little bit better about that situation overall. I'm going to go ahead and use my rest action for the Hulk next because I really want to try to get rid of some of his damage here. I have a plan. I get 1 success automatically. We're rolling 1 die looking for TAC or a wild. We didn't get it, but we got 1. I'm going to go ahead and actually use my empowerment token here to actually get another success. So it'll be 2, and we're going to go ahead and take away 2 damage. Now, I have a plan as to why I'm using the empowerment token right then and there. You'll see it in a moment. Now, I really want to work towards getting rid of this Civil War one here that stops my team up from going up. I have to just defy this mission in a space that contains the hero who has the highest DFI, which is Black Panther currently. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to defy this. We're going to go ahead and roll 2 dice. And I'm really tempted. I can use this empowerment token afterwards in order to get a success if I really think I need it. I'm going to roll this and see if we get what we need. We already have 3 here, so I'd have to have a really, really good roll. But remember, I have an automatic success, so I already have 4 technically. Let's see if we can get 2 off of this. Come on, make it happen. Oh, I'm so close. So I am 1 away. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to actually spend my empowerment token. I'm going to risk it, and I'm going to go ahead and get that extra success. So we'll have 1, 2, the auto 1 there for 3. That's going to go on top right here, and that's going to satisfy it. As soon as you meet the progress of a side mission, you immediately complete it. So we go ahead and complete this and gain 3 team up, which is awesome because this card is no longer stopping us from placing it on the game board, which is awesome. So this is discarded, and we're going to go up on the team track by 3, which is great because this is going to open up the ability to get Hulk Smash going, which is a team up card that is very useful. For Hulk's turn, I'm going to go ahead and spend 6 team up to drop this all the way down to 1. We're able to ready Hulk Smash. I'll tell you exactly what's on this card. It says you may exhaust this card to either deal 1 damage to an enemy in your space or recover 1, then repeat this process 5 additional times. So you're either going to heal a whole bunch to keep yourself from going down, recovering, or you're going to literally just smash everything in the area like crazy. The last aspect token to be used is coming from the Hulk. I'm going to use it on Wakanda to do a dagger action. I'm going to empower the Hulk. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, when you do a dagger action on one of your bases and you have a hero mission down below, you can then put that hero mission into play. So we're going to take this and place it in the yellow area of the board. The Hulk's hero mission is called Burning Rage. It says after Bruce Banner uses Hulk Smash, and Hulk Smash is the card that I just paid with team up track points in order to refresh and get it ready. So we now have it available. If I use it, then we complete this side mission just like that, as quick as that. And then when this mission is completed, Bruce Banner gains Rick Jones. It states down here that Bruce Banner suffers 1 damage as an ongoing effect. So anytime we see that on the event cards, we're going to have some damage going on the Hulk. So this is something we want to satisfy relatively quickly. I plan to in the next round. Moving on to the Nemesis phase, we're going to take a look at who's in play. We currently have Loki with 3. We have 2 other enemies on the board, and we don't have any overrun cities or any other threat coming from other side cards. So that is going to be a total of 5 threat, bringing us to 10. With that now resolved, we take a look at the Nemesis mission up top here, and we know we've gone ahead and succeeded at it. So we're going to take the top card, flip it over, and take a look at the success side of the mission. It tells us we've succeeded in destroying Loki's magical sword. Without it, the God of Mischief is less formidable, but still dangerous. We get to place a suppression token, another one on Loki's card. The second Nemesis mission is a success, so we have 2 successes back to back, and at this point we're going to reset the threat track back down to 0. Also, when we complete a Nemesis mission, whether it's satisfied or we failed it, we're going to go ahead and draw a side mission as the icon indicates right under where the card was slotted in up here. So we're going to go ahead and grab a side mission, and this one's called Fury's Fury. The side mission states we need 4 progress on it, is tied to the Iliad, which is currently in play. It says defy this mission there, and then place 1 progress on this mission for each success. Although here it states if this icon shows up, we advance the threat by 2. That probably isn't good. A couple things in the game state have changed. So first off, the mission we know is right here. So I've placed a token. Also, the threat level for the final nemesis mission is 16. So we bumped our threshold up to 16. You'll also see, as I did before, the threat track is down to 0. Let's take a close-up look at the new nemesis mission as well. The final nemesis mission tells us we need 8 progress on it, and it says defy this mission in Central Europe. Place 1 progress on this mission for each success. Then spawn 1 illusionary foe in a space with a hero. Spawn it in a space with no illusionary foes if able. And we also know it's going to be in space 6 in terms of where we need to go in order to actually defy this mission. So we've got a token for that we're placing up here in Central Europe. That changed a lot about the game state so far in the Nemesis phase. We're going to move to the final step, which is the event card. The event card is called All Fired Up. It says the enemy seems particularly aggressive right now. They may lash out at unexpected times. Keep your guard up. It says during this Nemesis phase, increase each enemy's power by 1. So I guess if there was ever a time to not have enemies in your area, this is it. This really should help us out by not being anywhere around enemies currently. Now, the very first thing that's going to resolve here is an exclamation point, which tells us to pull another side mission. We've got another interesting one here. This one's going to need 8 progress to clear. It's called Spreading Chaos. It says place 1 progress on this mission for each damage dealt to an enemy. Do not place progress for damage dealt in excess of an enemy's health. So only what you truly do damage to the enemy with. And then it also has another one of these icons where it advances threat. So if we see this skull, this is really going to be painful with both of these in play. The next icon to resolve is this beaker right here, which says Trickster God. Each hero loses empowered, and each hero that cannot suffers a damage. And look at that. It actually came around to hurt us. Now, the good news in this situation is that the Hulk actually has an empowerment token, so the token is just lost, no damage taken. But the Black Panther does not, so 1 damage on the Black Panther. That is 3 out of the 6 health it has. We now move to activating the enemies, and we start with the Egyptian Guard, who is standing in New York, and as there's no hero to attack, the next step is to overrun a base, and he can because he's standing in New York with no hero present, so New York has been officially overrun. Now, the rules around overrun are as follows. While a base is overrun, its dagger effect cannot be resolved, and hero missions cannot be put into play there. Its dagger action, however, can still be resolved if a mission calls for it, though. But essentially, it makes that gaining of a team-up point there impossible to get now at this point. But if there's a mission that needs something there specifically, then it's still okay to do so. And again, having an overrun token on any base is not a good thing, because if all 5 bases are overrun, you lose the game. Now, the next one to activate is the illusionary foe right here. First thing it does, no hero here to attack. Second thing, is there a base here? No, there's not. Next thing is it will try to move towards the nearest base in its region, but that base is overrun now. It's the red one. It is overrun. So it's going to go to another region or another space that has a base inside of it. And what is that going to be? Well, Atlantis is next door. So if we don't deal with that before the next Nemesis turn, Atlantis is also going to be overrun. Now, the Elite is going to activate next, and it's going to do the exact same thing. It's going to try to move towards another region's base that hasn't been overrun, and the closest one is Atlantis. That's going to do it for the Elite. We now move to Loki, who we know is stunned. So Loki won't be doing much of anything. The stun token will be removed, as well as all the damage that is here. It's really nice to see the 2 suppression tokens. That's going to really come in handy in the final showdown. And at this point now, we have resolved all the enemies in play. So we now go to the spawning, which tells us a rank 1, which is going to be an Egyptian warrior, is coming in space 6. Well, isn't that a nice coincidence? The Egyptian warrior shows up in the exact space where the next Nemesis mission needs to take place. To start off the next hero phase, we reset all the aspect tokens below each of the heroes. We also move the first player token over to the Hulk, and this is a perfect place to stop after completing Nemesis mission number 2. We are now rolling into Nemesis mission number 3. If we can complete this and stay alive and not become defeated across the various ways you can lose this game, then we can get to the final showdown and see if we can take Loki down. So join me in that next video and let's see how things pan out. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.